In the vast eternal expanse of digital creation on YouTube, few dare to dream like Dad. For years, Dad, aka Nathan Barnatt, and cinematographer Derek Olson have defied limits, building worlds from scratch, chasing the impossible, and turning vision into reality. Fueled by the grit and soul of 1970s cinema, we craft stories that don't just stand out, they hit like a fever dream, blending raw imagination with relentless execution. This is our legacy, this is our art, and we're just getting started.
I'm sitting in here with my good friend Nathan Barnatt, and he is the creator of the Dad channel. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the history and also the behind the scenes, because you and I have worked together on this channel off and on for close to 4 years.
5 years now, I think, Dad's almost about 5 years. But we've been working together since like 2010 or 12.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a long history.
Crazy, it's almost 15 years. We shot too many videos, I don't remember. It's all a blur.
I'm really just like living my best life when we're working together.
Some of my best memories are from just nights downtown LA with you, figuring out what's the video gonna be, and then we would shoot, we come up with these concepts. It's just fun running, gunning. That's what I've been doing since I was a teenager. Luckily, everything in my opinion, we've shot came out amazing. Especially like that Dad Feels Good, the music video we shot downtown. All that footage was in front of the skyscrapers. It was just so good. And when we found that parking garage and you went up top and you were zooming in on me, I was like, it was exactly what I was hoping for.
We would always have to kind of look out for security guards.
Oh yeah. Well, especially with the one, I mean, we're getting into it now, I don't know if we want to go to this, but the finale, the Dad finale, one of the shots we were doing when you're panning down the building, and then it cuts, oh, it doesn't cut, it just pans down the building, and all of a sudden I enter frame and start running.
Like full speed.
Full speed, and you're like super far away, zoomed in, trying to track with me. It was on property we weren't supposed to be on. And there was like definitely security people that kept walking by. Every time I'd run, I would hide in between takes behind a pillar because we'd watch them doing like a patrol, and we'd do it when they weren't seen. We're like, go, go. We also did a 100,000 subscriber video at that same building on the front side, looking at the building,
yeah.
And there was security walking around too, but so we couldn't enter too far close to it, otherwise it would kick us out. The cool buildings, unfortunately, have security, and we're just like stealing shots.
We invited my son. We take turns managing him while we're doing different setups and stuff like that, and you kind of keep him entertained. You know, even like when he was like 6 and you guys knew each other pretty well, he would look at me and he'd be like, Dad, is Nathan a robot?
Because I was always acting like this. He'd be like asking me questions about being a robot, and I'd just give him logical answers. So I was like, oh, well, I can't eat that. It'll get stuck in my wires and blah, blah, blah. So I'd always answer him as if I was a robot, and I just never dropped the bit. I remember him asking me a few times, he's like, are you really a robot? And I was like, I'm really a robot. And I was like, watch, I'll shut off. And then I just do this. And he'd be like, hey, hey, and I'd make noises and stuff. So it doesn't matter with him.
In that first video, I've got both of my kids. My little daughter, she was maybe 8 months old.
It was the first video that Dad uploaded, and it was basically a dad bot walking around like scanning and watching fathers, like gathering information. So he's like seeing all these dads. It's funny because he's like creepily watching dads, which is not what you would expect from a man coming out of the bush. When I'm thinking of that video to sort of establish this channel, I thought, well, a robot would gather information, right, and he should look at stuff that fathers would like. So I thought the character trait is definitely gonna be that he likes motorcycles. That video worked out perfectly when we were filming it. There was a motorcycle right there. There was the highway, everything just worked out. When we were like literally on the side of the highway. That was like kind of risky, but like it looks so good with downtown behind in the background. And people were like looking at us like as they're driving down the highway, and I'm like, and I'm walking down in the breakdown lane.
We had a shot where we went out to this like kind of salt flats area in the middle of the desert. We had to drive off
the dirt path.
And eventually we get to this area, and it's a dried out lake bed.
And that's a location my brother and I have used to death. It's actually, he discovered it. I need to give credit to my brother Seth, who originally shot on this lake bed. I'd wanted to use a lake bed. I saw he shot that on, and he's like, you can't use it. And then I used it all I wanted. This lake bed, there's like no one out there. We opened the back of the van, and Derek is hanging out with the camera like right over the dirt. My friend is driving it in reverse, trying to keep it straight, backing up to me, and I'm laying in the ground, and the camera's supposed to come right up to my face.
I can't remember if I like strapped something around me.
I know exactly what you did, because it was just the 3 of us. The reason I know is because when I sold that van, the seatbelt was still tied in that knot. We took the back seatbelt that wasn't being used, because I took those seats out, and you tied like into this weird knot. You just kept like sticking your arm through it a bunch so that at least you wouldn't fall out. but like your legs were still kind of going up in the air and you were hanging the camera. You were kind of like upside down.
You are in a spot laying there still the entire time.
Because then the driver, who the character, the legs, was driving the van, had to get out and get in the shot. He walked around the van. You had to get out of the van, get your arm out of the rope, get a steep out, and then film him, and then back to me when I would wake up. That's when Dad blew up. Like when that episode aired, a lot of people were watching because Inside of Mine had just done a video on me, and I premiered that video, and I remember there was almost 2,000 people watching, and I'd never had something like that happen on a live stream. So it was literally moving like this. Like I couldn't read the words. I was like, and it was right at that point, and people were like, oh my God, this is a movie. What is this? This Dad channel's crazy. Because I don't think they were expecting such a, because that was the first time I think in the series, it was all in the studio like here, of just like, hi, I'm Dad. Where's wife? Where's family? Blah, blah, blah. And your footage definitely helped elevate the Dad series big time, from just like locked off little world in this like little studio to, oh, there's like a movie being made here. We're all watching Die Hard for Christmas, like just a bunch of us friends watching Die Hard together. And the bridge from Century City that's in the Dad videos, and Diane and in the Endings Run. And I always go, that's the Dad bridge. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's the Dad bridge. And I loved every shot we got.
Daddy's trying as hard as he can. Do not think about mom's friend Diane. But Dad feels like an actual man when he thinks about the forbidden. Daddy's trying as hard as he can. Do not think about mom's friend Diane. But Dad feels like an actual man when he thinks about the forbidden. Dad is trying as hard as he can. Do not think about mom's friend Diane.
I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for all you guys, you know? I just have a couple weird ideas, and you make the weird ideas look good. So I'd just be a crazy guy out in the desert dancing in this shirt and tie.
Music videos that were technically challenging, but obviously with those challenges, it's very rewarding. But I remember one specifically was True Value.
Oh yeah, True Value.
We did it in one take. I think we've tried probably about 6 or 7 times, but it was like 3.5 minutes, and I'm walking backwards down the sidewalk.
Hopefully people don't walk into us and people aren't staring in the lens, which happened a couple times.
You also had to disappear from frame and then magically reappear like 3 times throughout this 3.5 minutes.
A lot of running and ducking and hiding and jumping, and
We had perfect golden hour, and the sun was going down as well.
everything was working against you.
I was thinking of this other one-take music video we did. We got access to a convenience store, and you had shot with a band there before.
Yeah, Bedroom Eyes by the Knocks, featuring the Studio Killers.
Together, baby, you and me. Ooh, I could tickle in my thighs and the feet spin around and around. The ceiling's coming down, go around. We could do
You remixed
Yeah,
it.
so I was in that convenience store like the week before filming that music video. I was like just in as an actor and dancer, and I liked the song a lot, and I talked to the manager of the band. I was like, could I remix this? He's like, yeah, sure. I remixed it with my friend Cinematographer, who's a musician, who's done music with me as Dad. I loved the remix. I was like, this is good. Like I wrote all new lyrics and stuff, and did the vocals, and then talked to you. I was like, hey, I got an idea for a music video. I thought it would be cool to go back to the same location. Here's something that happened that we didn't see, like after this one guy was still there or before me. The only thing I knew about that video I wanted to do was like shoot it in that location, dance to the store, and I wanted to get a green orb. So when I got there, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have the orb. I don't know what to do. We need to figure out some sort of storyline to make, because I kind of threw that idea out the window because I didn't have it. So I was like, I don't know what to do here. So we just started talking.
And I think what we ended up using was, do you remember the buzzball?
Oh yeah, I know buzzballs really well. So my audience who watches my live streams knows that I like those buzzballs, because I'm like, you drink one buzzball and you're done. You're good. You're like, wah. And so I have like a sort of a bit with me and Buzzballs, and there were Buzzballs in that store, and there was a green one. I was like, this is perfect, because I wanted the orb green, because we'd never seen a green orb. We've seen red and blue orbs. The green was different, and I wanted to use this one for other reasons, because later in the series it would come into play, where you and I were back in this cooler, moving stuff out of the way
We had to perfectly choreograph this thing.
to the length of the song.
If we see each other again someday, on the other side, do you think we'll feel what we feel now? Out there.
Well, it is kind of weird that you see them at the entrance, but like, what are you gonna do? I paid a good amount of money for that store to rent it. I knew I was never gonna make the money back. The Dad series finale, the hour-and-a-half thing that you shot, cost me nearly $30,000. That was because it shot over a long period of time, added up all the costs for the whole thing.
You've already laid a lot of groundwork, but maybe there's a way to see this character in a different way.
Yes, I had an idea for a Dad movie that would be the same, but very different. It would be, I don't want to give too much away, but it would be a lot darker, like dark. It's nothing like what I've done before. The Dad series is exactly what I imagined in my head. Like exactly. It is pretty simple. It's literally just me standing in front of this wall, which is what I imagined, but the carpet, the minimal props, everything. It's crazy to be like, yep, this is what I had in my head.
It's like this thing jumped out of my brain onto YouTube, and now
Weird.
it's just hard to even really wrap your head around.
Yeah. I hope I get to see more Dad. Hopefully classic Dad, I should say, will be back soon. We'll have to see what the server has planned.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure. Good seeing you as usual, hanging out. Awesome.